Hey everyone, welcome in. Thank you for joining me. My name is Marlene. I'm with A Room to Bloom. So today I was putting something away up in a cabinet that was a bit higher, and I had put this chart up in that cabinet, and it's a detox guide. And it was interesting because I opened another book on faith today and it was talking about this idea of detox. So, again, everything happens just the way that it is supposed to. I'm just going to check the reverb. I think we're okay. I hear a little bit, but we'll take that down just a notch here. But so, this particular guide speaks about what toxins are. Um, body organs and digestion, etc. And it has 36 naturally detoxing foods, vitamins, and minerals that we can use for detoxing our body. This, just look at the food on here, right? It looks really healthy, colorful. These colors, when we are taking in these colors, we are actually bringing healing to that chakra area as well as various parts of our body. But I wanted to tap into this message of faith before I go any further with the reading because of how this unfolded. I read this and then I left today and I thought, oh, I want to kind of touch on this when I get back here. So the message that came up, and this is from a book called Faith for a Lifetime, Women of Faith. That's, it's by Women of Faith. Now, interesting, I just realized that this is dated July 4th. So speaking of freedom, right? And it says healthy bodies. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. It will be health to your flesh and strength to your bones. That's Proverbs 3:8. And now what's really interesting about this, let's read on. Most people suffer poor health, the old saying goes, not because of what they eat, but because of what is eating them. Years before science linked healthy bodies and minds, Solomon wrote, with humility, reverence, and righteous living would result in physical health. The grocery store newsstands abounds with magazines to promote a healthy lifestyle, but how many of those consider a person's spiritual well-being? Feeling stressed? Cast your cares upon the one who cares for you. See Peter 5:7. Exhausted? Run to the one whose yoke is easy and whose burden is light. That's Matthew 11:30. Worried? Place your concerns in Jesus' hand and trust him to meet your needs. That's Matthew 6:25 through 26. And I want to mention, I have goosebumps as I'm reading this. So this is to detox the body, but we absolutely can be doing a detoxing of the spirit. Now, by the way, this is written by Angela Elwell Hunt. Okay, and so speaking of freedom from whatever is feeling toxic, that's what we're looking at here. Whether it is physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, right? So this is really interesting because I have never ordered a deck on gossip or anything like that. But there was something that I saw when I was looking at these cards that kind of drew me to them. And it's not about gossip, because this is about being aware of the words that we speak, where are our thoughts going. It asks, the reason I got it is because I wanted to bring it up to think about that, the detoxing of gossip, actually. And with these cards, to not live in the energy of gossip, but to have one look at themselves, to be a mirror for others and to say, is this an energy that you're living in? But today I actually opened this up for the first time, and the cards that came out were not like heavy, or anything. But what's interesting is I split the deck one time, and the card that showed up is unbothered. Okay, and there's two people fighting in the background, and this person is sipping on a cup of coffee or tea. It says peace despite chaos, having a calm attitude, detachment from negativity. It is not my drama. When people say it's not my circus, right? That is a conscious choice to detox from that chaos, to walk away from energy that you recognize is bringing your spirit down, or putting dark, or dampening your light, if you will. And so the more that you give energy to it, the bigger it gets. Drama, you hear the words drama queen, right? um but when you turn away from it and you're like, I'm not giving that energy, it falls away, right? And so this is definitely being aware of what is going on in your life. And I wanted to share that. I thought it was a perfect card to start out with. So, in this idea of detoxing both the body and the spirit, emotionally and physically, mentally, I'm going to see what comes up that you might be encouraged here to consider again. Okay, this talks about a safe space. So stepping away to detox in a safe space, okay? Emotional sanctuary, where you feel comfortable, where you can have solitude, where you are protected in your vulnerability. It says, here I am safe, right? So our homes should always feel safe. And there are times in our lives when maybe that is not the case, right? So then we are being encouraged to find that safe space. For some people, it might be a car. For some people, it might be a walk, a park, being at a friend's house. But, that's a little bit different because you could be at a friend's house, but if you're chatting, then you're not necessarily creating sanctuary. You are maybe creating safety and possibly peace of mind, if you will. But knowing and self-recognizing, where do you feel the safest? Where do you feel the most at peace and the most at ease? What's coming to me is when an army sergeant or whoever comes and they'll say to these guys in the army, at ease, right? So when they're not at ease, they're at full attention, right? And think about being on high alert, where your nerve endings are fraying or this type of thing, right? And if you're at that for a really long time, you can feel very exhausted. So when we find a place of sanctuary, so you could have a job where you do not feel at ease because you have high demands, this type of thing. You could have a relationship like that. So then when you go out with your friends, you feel what? At ease. You could have a variety of different things, whatever that is for you. And it'll be various situations throughout our journey. But the question is, in this present moment, it doesn't mean to point and to play game, blame, to point and place blame. It means to self-recognize that, yes, what steps might I need to take to create sanctuary in my life? And do it for yourself without creating a big scene about it over here. It's just stepping back and doing it. It's choosing. That might be stepping back from a phone, turning the phone off, setting boundaries, right? So that every time you are starting to feel comfortable in your solitude, the phone isn't ringing and somebody's pulling you out of it, right? This is recognizing that we are being tested and challenged when we are in our peace, right? But once we have done that for a long enough time, what happens? We become unbothered. Chaos can be going on around. We are in the eye of the storm, if you will. We are anchored into peace. We are unbothered. So if you have felt bothered by a lot of things, this is what you are being encouraged to do. Find that safe space and continue to get into sanctuary on a regular basis so you can hear yourself think, so you can lean into what your heart is longing to express. And it's not about being lost in your thoughts. In fact, it's about being mindful of, are you simply in your thoughts, or are you in your heart space? What puts you in your thoughts and what brings you into soul alignment or into your heart space? Okay, what else do we have? Bounce back. Okay, I just did a reading. And this card, the first reading that I did earlier with this deck had this card come up. But I just did a reading with a different deck, and the words bounce back came up yet again, and I spoke on it. So this speaks about being resilient after setbacks, right? So if there was stuff going on and someone's around and it's like they're just simply, if you can hold that, be unbothered. But if you are bothered, find that safe space, find that sanctuary. Whatever has gone on, you are resilient and you have the ability to recover from a situation quickly, and having the determination to rise again. The thought frame of can't keep me down, right? I bounce back. All right, what else do we have? Okay, trust the signs. That's interesting. I just released a video. So it would have been just the one. There'll probably be two ahead of this. It would be this one, another one, and the one before it was called Trust the Signs. And I didn't use this deck. It's speaking about following the guidance that you are getting. Pay attention to the guidance. The universe is speaking clearly. Follow your intuition and the message received, right? Literally, you could be seeing trucks go by with messages on them. You could be seeing billboards. You could be hearing songs, receipts, numbers on receipts, license plates, bumper stickers, right? What are conversations that other people are having? And it might not be just the song on the radio. It might be what the announcers are saying, right? Commercials. So trust the signs. Where are you being guided? And if you feel like overwhelmed, you can ask a question and then become cognizant of receiving the answers, right? So it's awareness that the universe is speaking to us. And so ask, what do you need to know right now, right? Trust the signs and follow the guidance you are getting. Okay, the next one we have is overnight success. So here we have someone who's standing in the limelight. They have people with their phones or cameras taking pictures of this person. So it speaks about a rapid rise and sudden recognition, unexpected breakthrough. All eyes are on me, right? So staying positive, being unbothered by what else is going there. Okay, I am being guided just to show the bottom of the deck. Now, okay. So this, this is exactly the kind of thing that I do not like to go on to, but this to me would be a toxic situation to say this needs a detoxing. And what it says here, you can read it, right? It says someone's having a secret romance, hidden affairs, being second choice, are only late night calls. Someone's secretly reaching out to you late night, right? So that would be a toxic situation. So this is what? Choosing yourself over that. Choosing yourself. Finding space, safe space, keeping sanctuary, picking your battles wisely, protected vulnerability, right? Okay, and then when I split this deck, let's see, we have sugar-coated. Sweet but deceptive words, empty compliments, hidden insults, too good to be true, right? What in your experience is someone sugarcoating, trying to present you with something that looks sweet but isn't, right? This idea of hidden insults, backhanded comments, things that are too good to be true. Being aware of it without like giving it so much energy, it's like seeing it, observing it, and then recognizing and then detoxing, right? seeing it and choosing something different, pivoting away from energy that is trying to sugarcoat a situation with deceptive words, etc. Right? Okay, so we'll put that one out here. All right, so I have a deck here. Ooh, let's see. All right, well, I think I'm going to use this, the Akashic Truth Oracle deck. All right, please give us a message here for this card about unbothered. What else is going on? What is that chaos or whatever that might be going on? Okay, right, unbothered. It speaks about abundance. So people might be fighting in the background over abundance, but it's like holding your own. You're being asked to open to abundance, right? To believe that you are deserving of it and to believe that it will flow to you. This is the first important step towards receiving it. Breathe deeply and trust that it is on its way. So whatever's going on in the background, not letting that take your energy or your vibration down. Being unbothered by it opens you up, right, for this abundance because you're not giving that energy. Under safe space, we have the word listen. You are being asked to listen to your inner voice, right? Comfortable solitude. It's been guiding you to do something or to say something, and it is time to act on its wisdom, right? Listen to your inner voice. What do you need to say and or do? Okay, we have a self-doubt. Now this falls under bouncing back. You are questioning yourself and unable to move forward. Don't let fear hold you back. You have the strength and the power to see it through. Now is the time to break free from the limiting pattern, right? To bounce back from self-doubt. Bounce back from that self-doubt because you are resilient. And you can do that after a setback of some sort. Okay, under trust the signs, what do we have? We have detach, which is so interesting because it really goes hand in hand with that safe space, that sanctuary, detaching from energy, drama stuff, right? And I'm going to detach from that, cut the cords from that energy, and just move into a place of peace and calm. You are being asked to detach from something that you have been holding on to. When we hold on too tightly to a desired outcome, it restricts the flow. Think about that. Like if you had a balloon, like one of those long balloons, and you were to squeeze it, the water can't really move between the two spaces. You have to let go in order for that to move around. Trust that the outcome will work out if you let go of your attachment to it, right? So it's like you already did something, you built the energy, you just let it be, and then do something else that brings you joy, right? Because now you're raising your vibration. Let that other thing work itself out, right? You don't have to be attached to it. Right here is a perfect example. She is unbothered, which means she's detached from a situation. Now, this could be a situation like, say you've been working on something and trying to build something, whether it's a business or whatever that is, right? So if you've done the work, it's like, okay, let go and now see what happens. And focus on something else that brings you joy, right? Trust the signs. Okay, what else do we have here? Okay, under the overnight success, we have the card choice. You are being asked to make a choice that you have been struggling with. It is time to decide which path you are going to take. Listen to your intuition. Eliminate everyone else's input. And feel your way into the choice that is right for you. The time is now. So ask yourself if you have been saying the words I think, because that means you're getting out ahead of yourself. But when you feel it, like you feel a resonance with an energy, you feel a resonance with a situation, you feel resonance with people, you feel resonance with places, right? What is resonating with you? And that is why you are being asked to feel it. Feel the resonance, okay? Make a choice about this overnight success, rising rapidly, sudden recognition. Okay, under this sugar-coated, what do you want to tell us about this deceptive words? We have bringing balance. You're putting too much energy into something. Creating lack somewhere else. Take action now to correct the situation or risk further imbalance, which could lead to undesired results, right? So with the card sugar-coated, this is asking you to not sugarcoat a situation in which you may have been out of balance. So let's just take the idea of mind, body, and soul, or spirit, right? However you want to look at that. If you draw 3 graphs and you say, how much time do I spend on a regular basis in my mind learning something new, right? Or do I spend time in my thoughts creating situations or making them bigger because I'm living in that energy, right? Mind, body. Am I spending time on my body, on my physical vessel, right? And on my spirit? What brings me joy? What lights me up? So finding balance, recognizing, are you spending a lot of time in one of those areas and the other, or another one that you're recognizing that it's really not in balance, right? So just taking a look at that, and not to sugarcoat that for your own situation, right? All right, on the bottom of the deck, we have pay attention. Okay, and that comes up with the secret romance, hidden affairs, etc. You're being asked to pay extra close attention to the signs that you are being given, both the subtle ones and the ones that you cannot be missed. These signs will help you to see the best moves forward in order to live your best life. Pay attention to the messages, especially regarding anything that might have to do with a hidden romance, affair, something like that, right? And choosing to detox from that type of energy, right? Saying this isn't working for me, right? That's not how I want to live my life, right? Okay, and then I'm just going to split this deck. What is the last message you have for us? Oh, what did I just do? I'm going to shuffle this. Okay, let's see. Okay, someone is stuck. They're feeling stuck in lack, okay? You have all the resources you need to carry you through, whether it is financial, emotional, or physical limitations that you think you have. It is only ego-based fears taking over. Rein them in and do not give up. So again, a time for you to bounce back. Trust the signs. Things are working out, right? This is just something that is in your mind, right? And also, we can grow up with programming, right? Or if other people are saying things to us about not having enough for this or that. When we feel abundant, we are abundant, right? And we invite more of that abundance to step into our life because we are embodying the energy of abundance, okay? All right, and then I'm going to step into a deck here called Wild Offering Oracle. All right, tell us about this Message of unbothered and abundance. We have truth. When everything is done as an offering, even the act of speaking, you get shown when to talk and when to be silent. Your words come from silence, not fear. You do the talking, dear Lord. Take me over and speak through me. Speak through me, right? Allow me to be the conduit for words of truth, right? Words of encouragement, words of inspiration. Okay, what else do we have here? Under the safe space and the listen, we have the word doubt. Offering all to the divine doesn't mean negativity never arises, but you can say, free me from this prison of doubt, right? Which was, what did we have? We had self-doubt, right? Free me from this prison of doubt. I cast this burden to you. Show me your will and restore me to faith and confidence. Show me your will. Okay, I have goosebumps. What are we going to do? We're going to listen. And where are we going to do that? In a place where we feel safe and we feel comfortable, where we can have solitude, right? Finding that safe space to listen, let go of that doubt. Okay, what else do we have here under that bounce back and self-doubt? We have positivity, right? Bounce back from self-doubt into positivity. We have 2 yellow birds here. If you can find even one thing to be grateful for, it will restore you to the light. Please, dear God, let me always feel grateful for something, even a tiny thing, in even the hardest situations, right? So finding something to be positive about. It could be opening your windows, listening to the birds chirp, right? Letting that self-doubt fall away. You are strong and resilient, and you are able to bounce back from the situation one small step at a time, staying positive, writing a list, a gratitude list, right? On a regular basis, right? You might start one that says, what are the things that you're grateful for in your life? And you might go to bed with one that says, what am I grateful for that I experienced today, right? Okay, the next one that we have is love. And this falls under trust the signs and follow the guidance and detach. It's not about finding love. You are love itself. Help me, Lord, to send so much compassion and caring to the inner child that I always remember I myself am love, right? So instead of chasing after love, allowing yourself to simply be love, detach from the chasing, be love, and attract that, right? Okay, under overnight success and choice, we have work. So this could be an overnight success in your work. I am now available to receive all who can benefit from my work. Use me to relieve suffering on the planet. May all who need me find me. The divine is my complete source for all prosperity and will provide. Very powerful, right? Okay, and what else do we have here under the sugar coating and the bringing balance to a situation? We have abundance yet again. Divine beloved, please show me how to feel fully deserving to receive. I release my ego's plan and I open to being a vehicle of and for abundance, right? Allow my ego release my ego's plan, right? The ego's plan. And now we move into flow, right? Bringing balance into our life and situation. On the bottom of the deck, we have health, which is really interesting, considering how we opened the message up with the detoxing and that reading about where people talk about our health. It's like, what, instead of what are we eating, it's like, what is eating us, right? From the toxicity of situations, our relationships, our thoughts. So this says, allow me, divine, to be tender and accepting of my body, no matter what ailments I may have. May I always know it's doing the best that it can. Help me be a loving ally and friend to this sacred form, an ally and friend to your body. So that says if you need rest, rest it. If you need a nap, take a nap. If you feel very energetic, go for a walk, right? Um, if you are feeling some sort of way, like say things are not resonating with your system anymore, we become more sensitive the more that we ascend on our body. So, or with the more that we ascend, pardon me. And so it's about we may be making changes in a variety of ways in our life that have to do with our health. But health is not only the body, right? It is our mental health, our emotional health, our spiritual health, right? And our physical health. So that is how we opened it. And this is how we're going to wrap this up. I feel like this is a perfect bookmarkers for this reading. So I want to say thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the message. Take care.